Hello everyone, I'm Father Scott Vanderveer, and as we mark the 20th anniversary of the attacks of September 11th, 2001, I am thinking about something that happened last year when a parish volunteer was putting a sign out in front of the church with a welcoming message for folks to come and gather with us on the weekends. On one side, she put the words, "Come inside and pray. You are welcome here." Beautiful message. And on the other side, because it was very close to the anniversary of September 11th, she put on the message board, September 11, 2001, the day America came together. And I found myself thinking, oh my goodness, is it possible that we today are feeling a bit sentimental about some of the things that happened in 2001? Shouldn't we just be horrified by it and not have any possible way to see it as something that brought fruit in our lives? There can't possibly be any way that we are longing for some aspect of life in 2001, not considering what we went through. But her message stunned me when I saw it. The day America came together. Do you remember the bumper stickers that were everywhere in 2001? They said, "United we stand." It was such an important message, and it brought such hope to all of us who were devastated by the events of that day. United we stand inevitably reminds someone of the other side of that phrase. United we stand, divided we fall. So United we stand was an anthem for all of us to gather around, a reminder that our unity was stronger than anyone else's hate. 20 years later, we are not united. It is very clear that the divisions in our culture are serious and they have all sorts of ramifications that affect our lives in countless ways. United we stand can make us feel sentimental for the feeling of camaraderie and connection and unbreakable appreciation for our fellow Americans. Today, we seem to be willing to discard anyone who doesn't agree with us, anyone who isn't part of our camp. What can we do about that? If it is true that united we stand and divided we fall, how can we prevent the inevitable fall that will come from us continuing this kind of division in our culture? I think there are a couple of spiritual lessons that we can apply to the challenge of being united during divided times. And one of them is the spiritual lesson of empathy. Everyone we meet is fighting a battle that we know nothing about. So it is never, ever wrong for us to look at someone through the eyes of compassion. It's never foolish. It's never wasted for us to look at someone and imagine that they are having a very hard time, to imagine that they need our love, our appreciation, our connection. One of the times that I get very fired up is when I'm behind a slow driver, or even worse, a driver who keeps a varying amount of speed. Like we'll be going fast up until a certain point and then slow down for no reason and then speed up again and then slow down. It drives me crazy. And it can make me feel the kind of frustration that kind of helps me to understand why they call it road rage. I don't do anything with that other than punish myself with all of the afflicted feelings that I have. But I have now come up with a way to remind myself to look at other drivers through eyes of compassion. I imagine what it would be like for someone who had just left the funeral home after planning the funeral for the love of their life, for a child, for a parent that they had been a caregiver for a spouse who died an untimely death, for someone they had been married to for 65 years. And I think to myself, if I were driving home from a devastating meeting at a funeral parlor, would I be a good driver? Would I be paying attention to keeping a constant speed? Would I be doing a great job navigating all of the different parts of driving? Certainly not. I would be lucky to stay on the road. I'd probably be driving incredibly slowly. I would probably have really slow reflexes. I would probably feel absolutely vulnerable. And this question then presents itself to my mind, thinking about that. Am I going to add to the grief of that person by honking my horn and being aggressive with them? Am I going to be another form of sorrow in their life? So clearly, if I can imagine that a person in struggle needs my love, why would I not show the kind of compassion that would help them, at least make one part of their day easier by driving like a caring neighbor to them? Everyone I meet is fighting a battle I know nothing about. I can afford to be a little bit kind, to give a generous assumption, to give a little bit of room for them. If I am driving and someone in front of me has a bumper sticker of a candidate that I do not support, or has some slogan that I find offensive, I can imagine that they are fighting a battle that I know nothing about. I can remember that although they may be different than me in some ways, they are so like me in the most important ways. I can let go of my anger and resentment when I remember that we are part of the same human family and that disagreements are inevitable. I'll never forget the day that I learned that taking offense was a choice. Someone pointed out to me, it's right there in the phrase, you take offense. Taking is always something that we do, it's an action. So if someone is acting offensively, I don't have to take offense. I don't have to bite the hook, take the bait. Taking offense is a choice. I don't have to do it. I can leave offense. If you try to offend me, I can leave it. Like some Brussels sprouts on a plate. Like some vegetable I don't want to eat. I don't take it. I leave it. I don't have to take offense because I get to choose what I take and what I leave. I think when we consider the ways that unity is possible, we can recognize the danger of choosing division when it's not necessary. And it leads to a falling down of our family, not only here as Americans, but as Catholics, as world citizens, as human beings. So let us remember the lessons of September 11th, 2001. Let them not be in vain. Let us remember that divided we fall, but united we stand. May God bless you.